Hello everyone! This episode's unofficially sponsored by Red Bull. So I saw some children playing on an iPad and I thought how drastically different their play was than mine growing up. Don't get me wrong, we had every single Nintendo system that wasn't a Virtual Boy, thank God. But it made me think back to some of the games that we played as children. I mean, I of course played house with the neighbor girls and got all kissy kissy smoochy smoochy face when I was like 8. My father also constructed a sandbox in our yard, and it was flippin' huge. We were clearly the envy of all those kids that only had that stupid little green turtle thing that turned into a mud puddle when it rained. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I spent so much time burying my dinosaurs and then digging them back up again. The first thing I ever wanted to be when I grew up was a paleontologist. 10 points to whoever can guess what my favorite dinosaur is. We also had gigantic collections of blocks and connects, and we would just build massive structures out of them. We also had these huge tubes with connectors that we would also build things out of that were kind of like connects, only big with large pipes. What were they called? Pipe something? Something pipe? Pipeworks! Ow! Pipeworks! We would eventually make bottle rocket launchers out of those things, whereupon we immediately started launching them at each other. I remember a couple times when my older brother, who was 11 years my senior and the oldest of the 4 boys, made a puzzle game out of curio cabinets, clues, Q-tips, and those locks that you can like stick the Q-tip in to open them. So when we found the right colored Q-tips, we could access the next room and thereby the next area of the puzzle. When we were very young, we used to take every single blanket that we had access to and shove them underneath a bed. And then we would carve out a complex network of tunnels that we would call a rabbit burrow. And while playing the game, which was called Bunny, by the way, we could only communicate to each other as bunnies do, which is, of course, by using the sound meep. Meep, 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 meep. Meep, 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 meep. Meep, meep, meep. I have no idea where that sound came from, but it was meep. That's what the bunny says. And one of my favorite things that we did when we were kids was turn all of our stuffed animals, of which we had many, into a superhero team that we called the, wait for it, the Super Savers. We had enough stuffed animals that there was also a team of supervillains that we called the... I can't actually remember their name. It wasn't a good one, but they definitely had a name. Each of the 3 youngest of us had characters in the Super Savers that we would do the voices for when we were playing Super Savers. And eventually there was a couple of comic books. They were a pretty big deal. So I got lost in a sea of nostalgia there for a minute. Sorry. But my point is that I just don't see children playing like that anymore. When I see children playing now, it seems like they're always in front of some kind of touchscreen, and all of their media is trying to be as just interactive as possible. And at first I feel that knee-jerk reaction of, that's not how we did it when we were kids, you should go outside and play with a stick. But then I stop to think about if it is really a bad thing. Or is it only bad because it's different than what I experienced? These children are going to grow up in a world where nearly everything is interactive and has a touchscreen. So it seems only fitting that their play would be a version of what they will come to eventually experience as the norm. Right? I don't know. I'm just not sure. If you have any fun playtime stories, I would love to hear about them down below in the comments. That kinda came out wrong. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye! Hello.